Hi Star Babies, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. If you're new, my name is Gabriela. I make videos about astrology, lifestyle, self-care, and anything else I feel like talking about. Today we are back with the much requested part 2 of the moon sign video. I really thought I was gonna get killed. Like anything I posted on social media, it was like, hey guys, here's a selfie of me at the gym. What's up with, where's the moon sign video? The moon sign video is coming, but I'm thinking of making lifestyle videos. What kind of things might you guys? Moon sign video. We don't care until we get the moon sign video. So here I am making it. Please don't kill me. In the moon sign video part 1, we did the first 6 signs in the zodiac. So if you're a part of that, you can check that out. And today we're going to do the last 6, which are Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. If you guys have watched part 1, you know I do this in a monologue style, so I am speaking as if I were the moon sign. I can always tell in the comments who didn't watch the beginning of the video because they're like, you said you were a Gemini moon and then you said you were a Cancer moon. I'm confused, but hopefully you're seeing this. Just to recap, if you are a little bit new to astrology, a moon sign is basically that is where the moon was when you were born, what astrological sign in the sky the moon was in. So that's what a moon sign is. The moon was in Aquarius when I was born, real me. It tells us about your emotions, your true self, your habits, your feminine side, how you need to be nurtured, how you feel safe, what you need to feel safe and emotionally fulfilled. It's kind of like the opposite of the rising sign, I like to think, because the rising is all about our appearance, how we appear to others, how we come across, and the moon sign is the juicy inner details. I think it tells a lot about a person's personality, and it's possibly my favorite sign to kind of analyze. So yes, let's get started. I'm a Libra moon. Balance is key. I am all about balance in my life. I love harmony in all aspects of my life. I understand that you can't have light without shadow, good without bad, sun without rain, no divine masculine without divine feminine. That's why I'm represented as the scale. In my heart of hearts, all I want to do is live in harmony and have others do that too. I can often feel kind of anxious, like I'm taking on other people's problems, because any kind of distress and discord in my life really stresses me out. Can't stand arguments and people saying hurtful words that they can't take back. People so rarely think before they speak, and I just find there's always a more graceful way to go about solving a problem. I don't like to rock the boat, but that does not mean I'm a pushover. I just understand there's a time and place to pop off, and I try to make that never. Like I said, I think there's just always a better way to go about solving your problems. I like to be tasteful and mindful in the way that I go about facing my obstacles. I need friends who are stable, who are there for me. I need balance and beauty in my workspace, my home. When I am in harmonious environments, when I feel that my life is in harmony and my emotions are balanced and people around me are stable, I am an amazing diplomat, actually. I am great at being a peacemaker between people, a communicator. I am just a really good people person overall. I love bringing people together to work for the common good. I actually probably made a great team member on the High School Model United Nations team. Debate was a little bit too aggressive for me. I can also be very flexible. I'm someone who works well going with the flow. I can be pretty adaptable. I'm also someone who's really good to go to when you want impartial, unbiased, for the most part, advice. I try to be fair in my judgment. That's really important to me. And I will kind of give you a fair opinion and try not to be too heavy on one side or the other. I do like to err a little bit on the safe side of things, but that's just because I don't like things that throw off my zen. I cannot stand injustice and unfairness. I hate hearing about people who've gotten away with terrible things and haven't gotten what they deserve. I just wish the world could be a little bit more fair. I'd probably also make a very excellent Supreme Court judge. Because my moon sign is so feminine and it is in Libra, which is a Venus sign, very feminine sign, I am probably on the more feminine side, regardless of how I identify. I probably have a wonderful sense of style, a great eye for tasteful things in the home, on my body, makeup, I just love making things look beautiful. Ugh, there is really nothing worse than an ugly environment. Honestly, I'm probably one of those people that would switch therapists simply because my therapist has an ugly office. I mean, how am I supposed to open up to someone when I'm just looking around at all of the issues that I could so easily fix? Like, why did you hang that there? That belongs in a 1999 Holiday Inn. When I'm in environments where I can't cooperate with others, where my life is in disorder, where there are arguments and hostile situations going on all the time, I can become very unstable, like a tipped scale. I can be passive, very, very unsure of what I want, indecisive, always asking others what they think or what they would do, trying to kind of get a grasp on some kind of compass in my life. And I'm not always seen as the most independent person. I can also lean pretty hard to one side of the scale or the other, like getting into extreme diet and fitness and just throwing myself into it way too far, becoming an extreme minimalist overnight, or the opposite, plunging myself into nightlife and going out all the time and making my social life just the priority and kind of letting everything else fall to the wayside. I can even become a very superficial, gossipy person if I'm not in balance. I love communication because my moon sign is in an air sign, and air signs are signs of communication. So I do have a tendency to be a bit gossipy. I'm not the best at keeping secrets. That's why it's really dangerous for me to have friends who are not balanced, who are not grounded, who aren't trustworthy, because they can influence me in negative ways. I am at my best when I trust myself, when I'm secure with my judgment, and when I can make decisions for myself. I thrive in environments where I can bring people together, solve problems, and make fair, balanced choices. Since my moon is in an air sign, I'm not known as a super emotional person, but I can be very sensitive and very cuddly and flirty. I just am not seen as the traditional super emotional type. I would rather just be kind of like sunshine and daydreams most of the time. And when I get excited about things, I talk a lot. Like when I have a crush on someone, my friends want to die because I just cannot shut up about them. I'm not the brooding, angsty, cynical, critical type, but that doesn't mean I'm not intellectual. I am certainly intellectual. I'm just an optimist as well. And most of the time you don't find intellectuals who are also optimists. You're usually intellectuals who call themselves realists. But I like to look on the bright side of life. I like to appreciate all the beautiful, sparkly things in life. If you respect my need for balance and harmony, I will respond by bringing those things to your life. And probably a few candles too, because you could just do with a little bit more home decor. Just a tip. I'm a Scorpio moon. Having a Scorpio moon is hard, y'all. Everyone thinks that having Scorpio in your chart is fun and sexy and mysterious, but it takes a lot of awareness for me to feel emotionally healthy. The world we live in would like us to act like our emotions don't exist. If we let our emotions influence or dictate what we do or how we respond to things, we are seen as weak and unstable, not intuitive or grounded within ourselves. I've had to create a balance where I keep most of my privacy, as I prefer, but I still keep my emotional self healthy and embrace all of the facets of myself. That's how I feel safe, is with privacy, but not shutting off my humanity. I feel emotionally fulfilled when I have depth in my life. Deep purpose, deep love, deep connections with others, deep understanding of myself. I feel safe in relationships and situations that I know are tethered to something substantial, because so many things are superficial these days. It's hard to know who or what to trust. From my point of view, I've probably been betrayed many times. My trust has been broken. That's why it can be difficult for me to fully let go and be vulnerable with others, even though that's really all I want, because I don't think anybody understands how fragile I really am. I do appreciate struggle and pain in my life, and people have often been surprised at how well I deal with death, for example, because it's all alchemy. It's all about transformation, and change and transformation and growth are beautiful, even if they're painful. One of my mottos is quality over quantity. I probably do not have a huge group of friends. I don't mind that. That's the way I like it. I'm gonna be friends with the people who are gonna show up at my funeral. And I have a solid few, maybe even just one, but that is enough for me. Keeping up with superficial friendships or a million different acquaintances is very exhausting emotionally for me because I pour myself into every one of my relationships. So like, you have one bottle of coconut water. How are you going to give this to 200 people? It's much more valuable when you give it to 1 or 2 people, because look at all the coconut water they can drink. That was clever, huh? I just made that up right now. But yes, I hate acting. I hate pretending. I'm a really bad faker. Superficiality looks really bad on me. I don't do it well. I actually take pride a little bit in being skeptical, in being the person that can see through people, through situations, being the black sheep. People might call me critical or overly skeptical or negative, but really I just like to see to the core of things, and sometimes the core of things is not what we think it's going to be. When I was little, that might have been a source of pain for me, feeling like I couldn't connect with people, feeling like people around me didn't want the quality relationships that I wanted, especially high school and college. If people were just interested in going out and hooking up with anybody, I just could have felt like nobody else really craved the depth that I craved. But I understand it's so much better to be different than be boring. I feel like I pretty much have the world figured out, while everyone else is just kind of content with living with the veil that is before them. I would much rather peel back the veil and understand everything that's really going on. But that's hard for a lot of people to handle. They don't like the dark side of life. I enjoy lifting the veil on all things. That's why I love mysteries and movies about crime and understanding psychology and how a murderer's brain works. And I feel powerful when I've figured somebody out, when I've figured a situation out. I think that's because it actually makes me feel safe. I love the unknown. There's nothing more fascinating to me, but it also kind of scares me. I don't open up to many people, but one of the best feelings in the world is being vulnerable and raw with an intimate partner. When you know they're doing the same to you, that kind of closeness is just, it's the best drug in the world. People think Scorpios or Scorpio moons are sex maniacs. That's the first thing that they react to. And really, if all I wanted was intercourse, I mean, my life would be a lot easier. You can get sex anywhere you go. But closeness, true intimacy, true vulnerability is hard to come by nowadays. And I love discovering new flavors of emotion. You can use the word sad, but there are all sorts of different types of sadness. If I was cheated on, I remember that specific type of sadness as a very distinct feeling, even physically. When I lost my virginity, I remember that as a specific feeling of vulnerability, very different than if someone spreads your secrets around. That's a different feeling of vulnerability. I basically have an emotional spice rack. I'm actually someone people love to open up to because I think I delicately pry them open and they can feel that I want to see more of them. And like I said, it's hard to come by in this world, people who actually want depth. So when they discover someone like me who just wants to know everything and isn't gonna clutch their pearls at any of your secrets or your dark sides, people love it. It's kind of funny how that is when you're just frank with people, when you're just honest about what it means to be a human being instead of pretending you're something you're not. I won't always share my deepest emotions with people, especially if it comes to love, because I know that if that love is unrequited, it hurts, and I'd rather deal with that pain on my own rather than letting that person know that I care about them and they don't care about me. That is very vulnerable. That puts me in a very uncomfortable position and I feel weak. I could be completely obsessed and in love with someone and they could never know. Once the love is out in the open, and if you feel it back from me, I just want to connect with you on all different levels. I want to connect emotionally, physically, spiritually. I want to cry with you, create with you, worship with you if we're into that. When I am intimate with someone, on all levels. It's like we're becoming one, like we're fusing our beings. That's the kind of intimacy I want, and that's why I'm not really fulfilled by one night stands, even though Scorpios get a bad rep for sleeping around. Intercourse without emotion is kind of like giving yourself a massage. Like, it feels nice, but there's not really that special sensation when someone else is massaging you. It's just different. So, I don't know, man. It's just not the same. If I'm in an environment where people are superficial, or if people are gossipy and nosy, people like to expose secrets or find out things about me I'm not willing to share, I can become very snarky, very short with people, very cut off, and I can say just a few things and ruin somebody's day. I'm not proud of that skill, but it is nice to have in the arsenal. Who am I kidding? I'm very proud of that skill. I can also be extremely possessive and jealous in relationships, and the more I date, the more I learn how to kind of keep that in check or express that differently and in a more healthy way. It's really simply because I care for someone, and it's my instinct to protect those I care for, because I assume they're as fragile as me and as private as me. And I don't use fragile in a negative way. I just don't want people I love getting hurt. And so sometimes I translate that care into possessiveness and trying to overprotect them, and it's not healthy. Once I care for someone, it's like they're me, I'm them, and I'm so careful about destroying the things I love. I want people to be as close to me as they can be, and it can be a little difficult for me to give others freedom. Even in friendships, sometimes I get jealous when my friends make other friends. I'm like, are you gonna be best friends with that person and not care about me anymore? I can also be very distrustful of others and keep too much to myself if I don't feel it's safe to open up. I can become very closed off. All that is clearly a defense mechanism, but to me it's not worth opening up if I know I'm just gonna get hurt. It can take me years to repair emotional wounds, if not a lifetime. It's just a matter of taste. Some people like fluffy marshmallow cotton candy. I'm more of a Big Mac with special ingredients that you will maybe never know. But isn't that what makes me so delicious? I am a Sagittarius moon. Oh, sometimes I think of all the places I want to go and the people I haven't met and how big the world is, and then I wonder if I'm gonna actually be able to do it all and see it all before I die. But I don't dwell on that last part too long. I'm an optimist. The world is uncharted territory that I cannot wait to explore. Not only new places on the planet, but new relationships, emotions, new skills, new facets of my own mind. I love taking classes on random things, reading books that teach me new things, learning new languages. I can never get enough of how much exciting stuff there is out there to do and to use to expand my horizons. I've always been a little bit different than people my age. A lot of people describe me as an old soul, as if being worldly and open-minded and adventurous has an age. I was probably a very impressive, wise child. I probably behaved very well and surprised my parents with my knowledge and my wit and my sense of humor. People are often impressed with me, and they kind of say I'm a walking library, like I just know a bunch of really interesting things about interesting topics. I do like opening new doors for people to experience new things. It's one way that I show my love and that I show that I care for people. Whether that's taking you to a restaurant with a cuisine that you've never tried, or taking you on a trip somewhere fun, or recommending a book that you may have never chosen to read. Those are just some of the things I do. I like to enrich other people's lives and challenge them to step out of their comfort zones. Because I kind of have this X-ray vision of the world, I like to see right to the core of things. I can be a bit blunt and frank for some people's tastes. Some people interpret that as being rude. I will admit sometimes I do say rude things because my mouth gets ahead of my brain, and then after I've said it, my brain is like, that was a little bit harsh, why did you say that? But it's just, I have a tendency to do that. I just don't see the point in sugarcoating things. Let's get to the point and then move on to the fun stuff, right? I'm honest and I tell it like it is, because that's the only way you're going to be able to grow. Getting out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone means could mean dealing with things that are just presented to you in a really fluffy, sweet way. The world is not going to sugarcoat things to you. And since I'm worldly, I like to behave in a way that's similar to the world. I like to be straightforward. I like to be real. For me to feel emotionally fulfilled, I need to be in scenarios where my curiosity can run wild. I love jobs where I'm discovering new territory, I'm working on new projects, perhaps jobs where every day is a little bit different. I would make a great therapist or a social worker because I combine that interest in the human mind with my warmth, which makes it comfortable for people to open up to me. And that comes from my moon sign being a fire sign, because I have that natural warmth to me. I would also make a great professor, a religious leader, or a philanthropist. In relationships, I need a partner who keeps things exciting and fresh and fun. Boring habits or fear of the unknown or closed-mindedness will put out my fire very quickly. There's nothing sadder than someone who walks around afraid of everything, afraid to try something, unwilling to live any differently than what they've known forever. I would never be attracted to someone who I see as closed-minded. That doesn't mean I need someone who is wealthy and has been able to travel the world or who knows 12 languages, but it's just the idea of being open-minded, of being curious, that is so attractive to me. I love experiencing new things with my partner. That's one way I feel so close to them, and it's also very romantic, I think. I also really enjoy expanding my partner's horizons if they're open to it. I also love having an adventurous and truthful group of friends. It's important that I can be honest with them and they can be honest with me. I'm not always comfortable with deep emotion, especially right away, like holding hands and crying or writing love letters. And sometimes I've been known to run away from emotion that scares me. It's just one type of territory that I'm a little wary of. I just don't think I always do soft and sensitive very well. For someone who's been called blunt and insensitive, I try to be very careful around situations like that. It doesn't mean I don't feel deeply. It doesn't mean that my emotions aren't there. I just prefer to skip a lot of the crying and the mushy stuff and just be loud and proud about my love. When others don't allow me to share my knowledge or explore all of the corners of where my curiosity takes me, I can become arrogant just to remind people of who I really am. I can be sometimes called a know-it-all, and it can be hard for me to keep my thoughts and my opinions to myself. I'm very outspoken, which is usually a strength, but sometimes makes people irritated with me. I can also be hard to pin down because of my wanderlust. I just want to experience everything and go everywhere, and if I feel like a partner wants to cage me in or tie me down before I'm ready, I will just fly off again. I'm like a bird on a bower. Nelly Furtado really wrote the Sagittarius moon theme song. She really did. Come on, Nelly. I'm also so optimistic that it can make me a little bit irresponsible. Like I'll spend too much money in a night, or I'll fly off somewhere and kind of just leave my job behind just because I'm like, it always works out. It's gonna work out. Let's do this. I'm not always seen as the most dependable person when it comes to being where I need to be, when I need to be there, but my mind and my heart are always in the right place, which is somewhere exotic and new and fun. Do you want to come with me? I found really cheap tickets online. I'm a Capricorn moon, workaholic. That's what everybody says all the time, as if that's all there is to me, as if it's just easy to just stop working. But really that would mean stop functioning as I am hardwired to be. Not everybody can say they love their job. I certainly have worked jobs that I've hated, and I still do it because I'm committed to it. But because I know that that isn't emotionally sustainable for me, I'm not in a healthy position when I'm working a job I hate. I work fueled by passion for my desire to make these hours that I work endlessly worth something, to put them towards a bigger idea, to reach my goals. It's worth it to me to put those hours in, to make those sacrifices. Work takes up so much of our lives for the most of us, so shouldn't it be worth something? Some may call me a workaholic. Some people even call me a social climber because of my desire to reach new heights and be accomplished and be seen as someone who is successful and accomplished. But there's so much more to me than being a workaholic. My work defines me. It's just an extension of who I am. That's why I take it so seriously. People who don't work hard, who are lazy and unaccomplished, are simply not using their resources. Anybody can make a great life for themselves, but it's up to you and you alone. Other people aren't going to do it for you. And if they did, it would be much less satisfying than knowing you did it for yourself. That's why I become very anxious when it comes to how I spend my time. I won't even let myself go to bed if I don't feel I've done enough work for the day. I will just keep downing cold brew until I either fall asleep at my desk or my partner or friends pull me away from it, which takes several tries because I am very stubborn. Sometimes I wish I could be more carefree. I wish I could be one of those people that spends money and says, well, I'll just figure it out later, or who just quits their job to go live in a village in Mongolia, or who runs off with some exotic lover with $20 in their pocket. I just can't even imagine the worry and the anxiety that would affect me if I did something like that. And what would I be if I wasn't working for something? I'm probably not going to retire early. Life isn't just a vacation. I mean, where would I be if I was just content with where I am today? What would I be doing with my life? There's always something more. There's always a destination. You can't rush it or quit when things get hard. The journey, every single step, is what's so important. That's why I have a pretty structured lifestyle, pretty set habits for myself, things that I like to do every day to keep myself on track. I have an idea of what a successful work day is for me. I'm one of the most productive freelance moon signs. I would make a great freelancer simply because I'm great at making schedules for myself. I'm great at being productive even when I don't have a boss telling me what to do. When I am in a job or have a career that challenges me and allows me to thrive and climb levels, I am the best employee you will ever find. I hardly complain. I'm responsible. I'm not wasteful. I'm great at working with others, even people I don't like, because I know it's really about the bigger picture. When I have a partner who allows me to maintain structure in my life, but brings some adventure to my life, who appreciates me for who I am, doesn't make fun of me for needing a schedule, and someone who helps me foster a work-life balance, I'm funny. I'm funny, you guys. I am comical and patient, and I'm a great partner because I will help my partner with any task or any goal that they want to reach. I will help them create a plan to do it. I love helping people reach their goals just as much as I like reaching mine. Unless you're my competition, and then no. If I'm surrounded by negative people or an environment that's very unstable or an environment that doesn't allow me to move up any kind of ladder, I can become very pessimistic. If I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, if I'm not making progress and movement, I can feel very restricted. I can become very frugal and obsessive with my money. I could be cold and unpleasant to be around. I can overcalculate anything and not want to take any risks or change anything about my schedule in my life. I might distrust everyone around me and start doubting myself, which makes my work bad, which makes me only want to work myself harder. Sometimes it's like I punish myself with work or working out or dieting or saving money. The things that make me happy can also be my punishments for myself. I need people around me who live with a balanced point of view. Not too strict and negative and skeptical all the time, but also not people who see no value in money and accomplishment and preparation and structure. I'm not considered the most emotional person. I am that person who can keep it together for the longest. Even in the most insane of situations, I'm pretty much cool as a cucumber, holding it together for everybody else. It takes a lot for me to burst into tears or just to lose my patience. I do love showing my love and my emotional connection to people by being a rock for them, by helping inspire them to reach their goals, and just by being there. I don't think everyone needs to be mushy all the time to be absolutely wonderful and emotionally healthy. You can't cuddle a college education paid for in full by careful budgeting, but it still feels great, right? I am an Aquarius moon. No one is you, and that is your power. I love that quote. It's taken me a long time to come to terms with the fact that I may always feel a little different than others. and to understand that that's not inherently a bad thing. It doesn't make me or my existence wrong. I might have grown up feeling a little detached from my peers in school, like I was an alien or a black sheep. I've certainly gone through my fair share of being marginalized by others, but I think that's what shaped me into the person I am today, someone who appreciates my differences and others as well. From an early age, I've been able to seek expression and refuge from judgment and bullies by being creative, whether that's music, filmmaking, poetry, drawing. I'm kind of a Renaissance woman, as it were. I've realized that putting my creativity and my uniqueness to good use in making the world a better place is where I feel alive. I would much rather be a black sheep than another follower in the flock. I enjoy being a progressive thinker. Some of my friends think I'm a hippie and think I'm super, super liberal. I believe in self-expression, self-love, self-acceptance, universal love and peace. I guess that Age of Aquarius song kind of makes sense. I enjoy being a revolutionary, an unconventional thinker. My mind is always racing at 1,000,000 miles a minute, just filled with new ideas, new projects I want to start, new beautiful and poetic ways of seeing life. I'm very proud of my quick wit, and I'm also proud of my ability to be emotionally detached at times. I'm not always physically moved by emotion. That is to say, it's not always shown. I don't always, cry at movies or when songs play, but rather my thoughts are changed by the things that move me. My behavior is changed. It's like a ripple effect. Yeah, sometimes I feel like a robot when I'm in a sad movie and everybody else is crying and I just can't get there. But I take pride in being someone people can lean on, and I think that's why it's nice that I'm not always emotionally in flux. I'm really good at being there for people and being someone who's gonna get you back on your feet, who's going to help you create a plan or be creative in ways to move you towards feeling better. If I'm not in a job where I feel that I can create freely or that my thoughts are not respected or accepted, if everyone around me is too prudish, too stuck in doing things the way they've always been done, conservative or concerned about image, I can fight more against all of that restriction. I probably did that as a young adult as well. I can be rebellious simply to be rebellious, a rebel without a cause, just trying to rock the boat. I enjoy upsetting people with shock value at times. If I have a family who doesn't like the romantic partner I've chosen, I'm not gonna dump them. I'm probably gonna rub it even more in my family's face, and it's going to inspire me to keep seeing that person. I would never let someone else tell me how to live my life. Sometimes if people aren't acknowledging my uniqueness and my individuality, I can amp it up even more. I can become very strange and bizarre just to get people to realize how unique I am. I can behave in very strange and erratic ways. If I don't have friends that encourage my expression while also grounding me back to earth a little bit, I can be very unpredictable. In romantic relationships, a strong friendship is what's most important to me. I hardly ever just jump right into romantic relationships. It usually always starts with a friendship. I need to know that we have a good rapport, that we share the same morals, that you respect the way that I live my life, and you're not going to try to change me or dull my shine. I can't have a partner that I don't want to hang out with. Because I'm an air sign, it takes me a little while to emotionally and physically warm up to my partner, so it's important that they're patient with that part of me. Otherwise, I can pull back emotionally even more and become very detached, and some might say thoughtless. I don't like pressure to be what others think is emotional. It makes me upset and feel misunderstood when people say, oh, you don't really let your emotions out. If you cry more often, you'd feel better, you'd be healthier. Take a look at the things I create, and there you will find my emotion. I'm a Pisces moon. And we all float on okay. That Modest Mouse song is my vibe. I'm a go with the flow type of person. I'm a free spirit. I like to go where the wind takes me. I have very dreamy ideals about life that I like to live. And anything that gives me that exhilarating feeling like I'm connected to my dream, like I'm chasing my goals, I follow. I could spend all day daydreaming, honestly. I love doing anything that connects me with my fantasies and my wishes. Journaling, meditation, music, studying astrology, worship. I believe that people are divine and there's some reason we're all here, some bigger purpose for all of us. And it doesn't mean I believe in God. I just know that there's something bigger. There's a purpose. I need to be in an environment where I'm allowed to be honest with myself about what my dreams are. I don't like people telling me what my dreams should be, what I should want to do as a job, who I should be with as a romantic partner. It's just, my dreams are just a part of me. It's like an inner heartbeat, a compass. And if a boss or a parent or partner wants me to resist the pull of my dreams, I can't. I know I have my purpose, and it may not be very clear to me. I may be still trying to exactly figure it out, but I know it's there. I love the book The Alchemist because it has so many quotes that relate to me. One of them is, "You will never be able to escape from your heart, so it is better to listen to what it has to say." I could go on and on about following your heart and chasing your dreams. I understand that with a little bit of guidance and groundedness, which is sometimes hard to find for me, I have endless possibilities. I am boundless. My life is boundless. I really believe if I can dream it, I can do it. I may need some mentorship or good friends to kind of keep me grounded and not just floating around in dreamland, but when I'm inspired, I'm unstoppable. It's healthy for me to recognize that I don't have to be defined by old labels that others have given me or that I've given myself. I can be a very intuitive person and sometimes even feeling psychic, very connected to humanity and to the world as a whole. I can be called often a little too woo-woo for people, too much of an idealist, setting my goals too high and not having any steps to reach them planned out. Some people think I'm strange for the way I talk about human connection, about energy, spirit. I need a partner who believes in all of that talk, who doesn't make fun of me for believing in it. Somebody who doesn't call me crazy for believing in what the eye can't see. If my family doesn't allow me to pursue the career that I want to pursue or chase my true passions, if my partner is aggressive in trying to shut down my dreams and get me to come back down to earth, I can become even more of what people accuse me of being in order to combat that and rebel and try to balance. I can become very unrealistic. I can be slippery like a fish, and my emotions can be really hard to pin down. One moment I might be crying and opening up to someone, and the next I might be running down the street singing a song. I can even get to the point of self-sabotaging relationships or opportunities simply because I've lost faith in my dreams and can become a victim of my own life. I really am what I think. I am what I dream. So it's important that I'm able to dream and explore and connect and chase my passions with all of my big heart. Some may think I'm strange in my methods, or that I'm too extreme or too much of a dreamer, just fantasizing all the time about how great life would be if we all were connected. But I think John Lennon wrote a little song about that called Imagine, and a lot of people love that song. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. There you have it, guys, part 2 of the moon sign video. Please connect with me on social media. I'll link everything down below, and I hope you enjoyed this video and that you have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Mwah! Bye, guys.